Let's get started. Okay, awesome. So thank you so much for coming to class today, Rainey. Yeah, so I usually start with a little dedication prayer to bring in good energy and a focus for the class. Okay. Dear Universe, thank you so much for bringing me and Rainey together in this delightful meditation class. We ask for your blessings and for your wisdom to come through so that we may get the most out of this meditation class in learning the techniques of meditation as well as gaining actual experience. So, would you like to say anything, Rainey?
Thanks for the evening and the chance to learn more about meditation.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So let's get started. So as we were saying earlier, meditation has such a long history. As I mentioned, I've been mostly practicing with the Buddhist tradition at Kadampa, but I actually originally started with the Paramahansa Yogananda's yogic tradition from the Hinduist Self-Realization Fellowship. They're headquartered in San Diego, and they have like different satellite locations. So that's where I originally learned meditation. They had, Kriya yoga meditation, breathing meditation, and things like that. And there are so many forms of meditation, as I'm sure you know already, from the really basic breathing meditation to now very popular mindfulness meditation. There's also chakra balancing meditations. There's meditation to develop loving kindness and compassion. And there's also, in this traditional Buddhist teaching, they get into sutra and tantra teaching. So there's lots of visualization involved in the tantric meditation practices. And their highest meditation practice is the meditation on the nature of the mind, which is to get into our heart center and really realize that the union of what they call bliss and emptiness, which is a state of luminosity that permeates through our entire being. So then that way we can affect the infinite vibrations of the universe and bring that good energy wherever we go and whatever we do. Yeah, so would you share, you've shared to me a little bit of your meditation background. Would you care to elaborate more? Breathing meditation related to mediumship, any other form of meditation that you do?
Just the ones we did at Kadampa, which had to do with basically making peace in your mind so you have peace in the world kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's really, really important. And as I'm sure you know, meditation, a big part of it, especially when it comes to mindfulness meditation, is to reduce confusion, is to reduce clutter in our mind, and to let go of distraction, confusion, and things like that. And also including letting go of excess emotional baggages, because a lot of times we have lots of residuals carried out in our cellular body of different kind of traumas we have, or the Kadampa meditation would say delusional mindsets and delusional emotional bodies. So in meditation, a lot of these things will come up, and through concentrating on that state of clarity and spaciousness, we'll have a chance for all that negativity and confusion and clutter to evaporate, so that way we can stay in this spaciousness for as long as we can. So how about let's start with a meditation practice on breathing meditation. Okay, great. So we could start meditation by closing our eyes, and we could sit with our back straight but firm, but not tense. We can choose to put our hands together, one hand on top of the other, holding a nice posture. The purpose of breathing meditation is to help us develop focus on our breath. And the reason we want to do that is to, again, develop concentration and let go of distraction in our brain mind, as well as difficult or excess emotional energy. So a lot of times we're carried away by various distractions, and by focusing on the breath, we bring our attention to a single point of focus and let our entire body-mind relax into the breath. As we breathe throughout the day, it's a great point for us to develop familiarity with the breathing meditation. We can start by settling down, relaxing our entire body, and settling into our breath. We notice the cool air as we breathe in and the warm air as we breathe out.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. We enjoy this cycle of breath for a few times. Again, we breathe in slowly and we let our breath leave us naturally, without forcing or conjuring up any unnecessary patterns. We simply let the breath carry through us and breathe us. If we find our mind being distracted, such as if we're thinking about something or feeling some way, try not to pay attention to it, but rather bring the focus back at the tip of our nostril into our breath, one cycle at a time. We enjoy the relaxation that our body feels. As we settle down, we might feel energy moving down to our feet, being grounded into the earth. We simply hang loose and let excess energy dissipate. In the meantime, we become more and more relaxed. We cycle our breath again and again. For a few moments. Sometimes we might feel tingling in our body as we relax and as the energy moves through within us and as the energy moves extending into the environment. These sensations may feel very pleasant, leaving us feeling energized. Simply enjoy the sensation, knowing that we're alive and joyful, and that we are thankful for the very breath that gives us life and energy and bliss. We might feel the bubbling of this joy all through our cells as our breath nourishes us and replenishes us. We know that through breathing, we're connected to the entire universe. We're bringing in energy from the heavens and grounding it out through the ground. Everything is a flow, like the Tai Chi ball, infinitely moving and cycling, remembering that we're open source and that this breath keeps the cycle going and keeps us in a flow. We may also feel the breath in our belly, feeling our natal points, extending and nourishing. We may feel it all through our legs as we bring in the prana, the chi, circulating through all of our veins and arteries, permeating into every single cell. This breath is so delicious and so beautiful. As we take in the next breath, we remember the blessings from the universe that gives us life. We imagine this breath permeating through our entire skull, touching our third eye and opening our crown chakra. Then it moves into our throat chakra, enabling us for communication, activating connection with others. As it cascades down through our chest and shoulders, we grow more roots into life and into the ground. Further and further it moves through our pelvis area, our thighs, legs, and feet, connecting us to the earth that supports us. Everything is a microcosmo and a macrocosmo. The microbelt and the microbelt in ancient medicine. With every breath, we remind ourselves that we're alive and we're connected, and that we're all vibrations. Let's experience the deliciousness of our breath in silence for a few moments. Remember, if we're distracted, simply turn our attention into the breath and let go. At this point, we might feel our entire body softening, as if it's melting into light. All the structure, the bones, muscles, and skin becoming looser and porous, softening and softening. We let the breath wash over us like waves on the ocean, fully massaging us, all of our organs, our mind, and our cells. Allowing us to be more and more relaxed, as if we're in a hypnosis. We can give this gift to ourselves. While we're relaxing, We're also maintaining alertness. Our mind is clear and it's sharp. We're fully aware of our surrounding, our sitting posture, the feelings through our entire body. We're spacious like light, fully present in the sacred now moment. Every breath is a gift of life. We remember how sacred and blessed we are. That the divine universe is working through us with every breath that we take. We treasure this breath and we appreciate it. We never take life for granted. We cherish everything. We even appreciate the ticking of the clock, knowing that it's part of our mind. It exists in our environment, and it is part of who we are. Through breathing, we embrace everything in loving heart and loving light. We approach everything with the gentle breath that breathes through us. Everything is who we are. Everything is brought to us through the gift of breath. We are united with all. When we feel buoyancy in our body, we know we're being uplifted. Our vibration is increasing. We're increasing our frequency and connection with the universe. Our mind is becoming ever more expansive. We're letting go of suffering, diseases, concerns, and burden. We simply breathe them away like dark smoke leaving our body into the distance. When we cherish the gentleness of our breath, we let it navigate us through our decision making. We know that everything is as easy as our breath. And that we treat everything with gentleness and spontaneity, not expecting or forcing. Just as gently as we breathe every breath. If in our life we feel stressed, our breath quickens, we simply slow down, take a break, do a breathing meditation. Restore the gentleness of our breath, and knowing that we're rebalanced through our breath. Let it be a monitor of our health and wellness. By paying attention to our breath, we're paying attention to our entire physical and spiritual well-being. And remember to be relaxed through all conditions and circumstances. As in this relaxation, we can embody love and give the most to ourselves and others. Let's reflect on these messages for a few more moments and let them deepen into our hearts and fully integrate into the memories of ourselves. Enjoying every breath that we take. Letting go of distractions or over-intellectualization. Through letting go of our mind, we find the noble no-mind state in which energy moves through us unobstructed, peacefully and efficiently and smoothly. We feel the joy of life percolating through us as we glide through life as effortlessly as every breath that we take. Enjoying everything that we experience. And staying away from obstacles that make us feel stressed. Through our breath, we gain wisdom because the breath is the perfect measure of our peace and calmness. It allows us to have a direct experience with the meaning of balance. And through balance and calmness, we experience wisdom as higher ideas and inspirations will come to us in that state of balance and relaxation and letting go of the ego. We monitor all that effortlessly through our gentle breath, one moment at a time, staying gracefully and peacefully through our lives, in the way we treat ourselves and the way we treat others, our friends, family, animals, our environment. Everything breathes in its own way. through respecting and taking care of our own breath, we understand how we should take care of others with peace, gentleness, love, compassion, and wisdom. Again, when we feel stressed, rather than letting ourselves go into a spiral, we simply take a break, do a breathing meditation, and restore our balance. Letting go of mental clutter and over-intellectualization that puts us in a spiral. Simply breathe them out of our body and mind, like blowing away leaves from our palm. It's just that simple. This is how we gain clarity, balance, and wisdom in life. Remember always to nourish our body and mind, to take good care of ourselves with our breath and with everything we do. Because by being well, happy, calm, and balanced, we're of most benefit to ourselves and the entire universe. Because everything is vibration, and everything is integrally and infinitely connected with everything else. By taking care of ourselves through our breath, we take care of the entire universe. Without having to intellectualize it, we know it instantly. This is the impact of no mind state. Simply by being, we're offering the highest service to the entire universe through osmosis, breathing, and connection. The universe works out all the mechanics. All we need to do is to be. Be the highest, happiest, most peaceful, compassionate, and wise person that we can be. All through monitoring our breath, we can accomplish all of that. In the last few moments of this meditation, let's bring all these messages into our awareness. Let them perfuse through our entire body and mind. We ask the universe to assist us in this DNA activation and in this full integration, that we may fully embody the light and be of greatest service to ourselves and others. Let's meditate on these messages for a few moments. feeling the vibration percolating through our entire body as we amp up the frequency. We give thanks to each other for being here to anchor the light, to be of pillars of service, to create this sacred space in which we're connected in our service to ourselves and others, that we may continue to do so and spread our light to each other, to our family and friends, to our pets, to our leaders, to all beings in this world and beyond, that they may also enjoy the sacredness of our breath and that they're fully mindful of the preciousness of this life, that they may use it for its most benefit, to bring joy and wisdom into the world. And to know that we're all connected. Let our light spread forth through every breath that we take, blessing everyone in our path and those in other domains. We are the angels of light. We are the blessed ones. And we give love and gifts to everyone around us. When we're ready, we can arise from this meditation and give dedication for all. We can open our eyes. So how was it for you guys?
It's nice.
Yeah, great. I met you before.
Yeah, I just didn't realize you had something in you that I really liked it. Thank you. It's
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm happy. You're a physician, right? I met you at Spirit U and at the Tai Chi place. You teach Tai Chi, right? Yeah. I have a friend who also teaches Tai Chi, Ruben. I don't know if you know him, but are you still teaching there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Go to Spirit U sometimes?
No. Maybe one day again.
Yeah, it's good. Well, what's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle, I'm Kathy, and this is Rainy, and what's your name?
Tatiana.
Tatiana, right. So thank you so much for coming here. I'm really happy that we got to share this space. How was the meditation for you?
I'm just coming back to some form of meditation. I kind of come full circle when I'm unable to settle down again. So
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what works, what fits for me.
Yeah, I understand. Did you have a meditation practice before?
I did years ago when my kids were in high school. So as they all left, I sat down. My dog sat next to me. It really was just nice for me.
Yeah.
Those were the years around when Ken Wilber and some of these people were all getting cancer. It seemed like all the people with these really deep prayer
Yeah.
I thought, what is this? Are they not getting enough exercise or what? You know, we stay around too much. I just decided sitting must not be really where it's at. You must just be supposed to go to the grocery store and carry this out.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's the transition I made probably around 1980. I don't know, somewhere in there. 80, 85, 86. And I stopped sitting. I stopped any intentional form.
Mm-hmm.
And over years, I don't know, think you need to probably sit, but now I can't get, now I'm somewhere else, you know?
Yeah, I
And
understand.
my mind is so, there's so many new learnings and so much of, you know, so what I used to do isn't fitting and haven't found where I do want to be, and I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
kind of go back to the beginner's mind, you know?
I understand. So, like, for example, in this meditation we did you feel like your mind was distracted in different ways,
Well, I was trying to listen. Generally, I've just been in silence, so nobody's saying anything, and but then my mind wanders with that. So
Mm-hmm.
I've decided lately maybe it would be good to come back to somebody saying something and, you know, kind of guiding. There's a guy on Insight Timer that I seem to kind of be able to stay with. But I don't really follow his suggestions. Those aren't naturally coming to me, you know. He
Mm-hmm.
suggests taking your thoughts as they come in and putting them on a leaf and letting it float down the stream that you're
Mm-hmm.
sitting next to, you know. I mean, 2.4 million people have listened to this, so that's how I picked it. I thought, well, everything else was overwhelming on this site, you know, so I thought, okay, what is the most people are listening to? And I do like his voice, and I do like he's got a lot of maturity, but in my real life, in the world, I don't find myself during the day floating my thoughts down the leaves, you know.
Right.
So I'm just kind of, I'm in some different place now.
Right. So it's really interesting what you're talking about, because that is the meaning of meditation, is to help to train us to kind of just let go of all that stuff that's in our head. You know, so like this thing with the leaf, that's one method, because it's enacting on the visualization and actually training the mind to dislodge, to have an anchor for these thoughts, and to move it into the form of a leaf and see it passing by, because the metaphor is enacting all that flow, right? So this whole breathing thing is trying to do the same thing. I mean, I kind of did a really elaborate breathing meditation because I'm all into this energy, angelic healing and light through the body and all that. So I was taking it a step further, but really basic breathing, which is have you, sorry, my contact lens, would just have you, like, if your thoughts come, focus, find to your best ability to focus that energy, pour that energy into the breathing, into the nose, into the breathing. Get a rhythm for the actual breathing and get a sensation for the breathing. So because the mind is like going in different places, going, you know, laundry this and shopping this and family this, it's just like it's like light being diffracted in all sorts of places. So what you're doing with the breathing is you're focusing that light back in. And when you give it a point of focus, because the breathing is going on all the time, so it's not going to go through interruption because you're living. So therefore you can use it as a cycle, as an anchor, like a fulcrum, to bring it in, bring it in. It's a training process. It's not going to happen overnight, you know. I've been doing, sorry, it's just like with eyes closed and the contact lens. I've been doing this for a long time, so I have a sensation, like I can register in my body, like how the energy flows. So it's pretty easy for me to just focus on the breath. And later on, they have all sorts of different meditation where you're focusing the energy, for example, in your heart. It depends on what you're training, like if you're, where you're trying to activate, like your chakra. So like some other things, they might have you focus on the heart, and that's to open up the heart chakra. Or you can do it in the third eye, that's to open up the third eye chakra. But the basic breathing meditation is really a way of focusing energy in this continuous motion So you're training your mind to be obedient. That's really the point of this whole thing. And eventually, when your mind is compliant and obedient, you can let go of this whole breathing thing. You don't even need to focus it on the nose and the breathing in and out. You'll naturally just be able to be really flexible. Your mind is very flexible. So you can pull it to different parts of your body or focus on a certain idea. It's like a laser point. So, but in the beginning, you need to rein all that in. Does that make sense? Yeah. So keep on doing this. I'm familiar with Insight Timer because I've done meditation on it. So you can find something that works for you. And once you get a feeling for it, keep on doing the same meditation again and again until that feeling really deepens. And that's how you retrain your mind. Because in the Buddhist tradition, the mind includes many things. It's feelings, form, volition, impulse. It's more than like a traditional way where we think the mind is just maybe the intellectual idealization. But in the Hindu and Buddhist tradition, where all this meditation comes from, the mind is everything we experience. Our senses, our feelings, our tactile, our hearing, our nose, our mental phenomena, what we visualize, our memories, our projection into the future, all of our emotion. All of it is the mind. So the whole meditation is to train the mind to be obedient and do what we want it to do, which is to gain happiness feelings all the time and peace and calm all the time. So the reason I was going into all this whole thing about getting into this relaxed state, that's actually the highest state in the Buddhist and Dzogchen teaching, is to have a mind that is so relaxed that it's not obstructed by ego, thoughts, and feelings. And then you can really download cosmic higher dimensional energy, because that's where the angelic realm, however you want to call it, the higher dimensional energy wants to filter really inspiring thoughts through us, not like all this mental cluttering and self-doubt and all this ego stuff. So, but we can only do that if we can clear our mind, our small mind. So then in this quote-unquote no mind state, which is the Zen, is trying to get you to do all that. Like, are you familiar with the Zen teaching, which is like a really strong Eastern practice? It's all about letting go of all this mental clutter, the mind being distracted, so you can get into this, what they call no mind state, which is you're not using your ego mind anymore, you're using the cosmic mind to do stuff. I know it's a lot, but the point is to train the mind, to pull that energy back. And the simplest thing is to just bring it back to breathing. Like if you're going through your day and you're finding you're like everywhere, really try to focus on the sensation of the breath, a moment at a time. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And if you do this repeatedly, at some point the ice is going to break, and then you'll suddenly be like, I get it. That's how you're opening up a portal a little bit at a time until you really get a hole through, and then all that energy is going to come back. So, yeah. Anything else you guys want to add about that? You understand because you're doing energy work anyway.
Yeah, and it's just my first meditation was like that, and it was really interesting to see, because I was just doing relaxation and I was just focusing on that, and then I lost the words, and I could just feel that, I could just feel my body do its own thing, and then focusing on the breath, and I would feel the breath,
right,
and I sort of became the breath,
yeah,
and I could see that focus, like you mentioned, the light thing, with
yeah,
me getting more and more intense to
right,
the point that it just let go.
yeah.
So I know what you mean by that. It's very, yeah, that's what I'm saying, we completely.
Yeah, it's so joyful because I was like doing this meditation, my whole body's vibrating, like all my cells are vibrating. I feel so blissed out, and it's like not a crazy like running all over the place kind of, it's just like very supple, like your whole body, it's like your cells are soaking in this light that you're using your mind to direct, and all the heavenly light is coming through your body, and it's really just nourishing your cells, like watering through it into a land, and everything is like your cells are soaking it, and then you feel all this vibration in your body, and it feels so good. And then if you have like, if you're sitting down in meditation and you have stuff blockages going on, in your bioenergetic body, you might feel like dense feelings in certain part of your body, or your head might be feeling a little like rough and stuck, and different part of your body might feel stuck. You just imagine that you're breathing into that part of the body, you're breathing light and wisdom. You literally say, I'm bringing light and wisdom and love and all that, because that is actually light, and you use the mental energy to direct it to these parts that don't feel so good, and you let the light do its magic, because this light is omniscient. It has all the wisdom. Like, we're using like science and all that to verbalize it, but that is completely 100% like potent. So it'll just do its energy work, and you can use the breath to direct it to these parts. Kind of makes sense a little bit? Yeah, it's okay. Baby step.
In all the years when I was sitting on my little bench and with my little dog and the kids were gone and it was nice and quiet and all, Buddhism is what made most sense to me, although I was ordained as a minister in the Methodist Church at the time, but everything considered, I felt like I was kind of actually Buddhist. So I think now looking back, in those years I was really instead of detaching from feelings, I was not allowing them.
Suppressing them. Yeah, suppressing.
And so it looks like, looking back now, that was just a wrong practice.
Yeah.
Or not helpful practice, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Because now I'm like in a place of a lot of feelings coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's all good and part of the process, but it's overwhelming. And
Yeah.
so I don't know.
No, this is actually really important. It's very good that you're bringing this up, because that's the whole point of meditation, is to heal us. It's not just, yes, I've been saying relaxing and stuff, but that is how we heal, is through complete relaxation. So when we're sitting down meditation, if we're finding lots of stuff showing up, the best way is to actually do nothing. Like, the whole thing about getting back and focus on the breath is a way to not get spiral into these emotions and thoughts and ideas, because it's very easy when we have a certain sensation or a certain idea for us to go tunnel into it, and then you're like wallowed up in this sensation or ideas and stuff, and it's like you become that. So the whole thing with meditation, and this is really the highest training I had, because I was been training in meditation for 15 years, and I went to do all these retreat, like 3-month silence and all this stuff, and then a lot of stuff would come up, and I would feel really bad, like stuff I hadn't thought about for like years. Suddenly it would pop into my heart, and I would see an image, and I'd be like, and I would feel really bad, like a sensation would just take over, and I wouldn't know what to do about it, because I was still sort of new, and I'd be like trying to figure it out, like, oh, this person said this, or I should do that, and after this retreat I'm going to do this and that and that. And then later, the more experience I got, the more I realized the best thing is to literally sit through it. Sometimes if the emotion is really strong, I can't even sit through it because it's so much pain, right? I would just lie down, and I'll lie down, and I really try to like control my mind, not have it be all over the place and start thinking. I really try to stay as still as I can, and the emotions are just doing its own. It's like waves coming and coming. And I would just sit there, and then sometimes I would fall asleep, and that's okay, because sleeping is relaxation, resting. It's a healing process, because sometimes if our karmic currents are really strong, it literally takes over us. And a lot of times, people who don't do meditation, what happens is that karmic torrent gets wired through all the chakras and starts spinning out like certain distorted form of energy. Like, it could be like a certain illness that it eventually spins into an illness, or it spins into like a mental construct, like a certain way of perceiving things and reasoning things that's actually distorted, and it's actually the brain is trying to find a way to balance that energy, but it's not really able to do that effectively. So the most effective thing that I've been trained and I've experienced is you literally let the karma, that emotion, move through your body. And sometimes, it depends on how intense it is, it might take weeks It might take like a year, it might take a couple months, or it might take a day, or it might take a couple hours. It really depends on what is driving that. Because, I don't know what your spiritual understanding of your lineage is, but from Buddhist perspective, we have reincarnations. So what we're bringing into this life is imprints from endless incarnations we've had before. So some of the stuff, like what they call volition and impulse, it's coming from that space that might have been from so many lifetimes ago that we don't really understand why. Like somebody born with a hearing issue, or somebody is predisposed to certain like genetic diseases, it seems, or like somebody who's like easily aggravated by certain sounds or people or scenario. Some things it's not easily explained in this life, but it's coming from all that imprint from the past. So we need to resolve it in this life. And the best thing to do, resolve is not even really the right word because it seems to apply too much effort. But the best way that I've been trained is to literally let it evaporate throughout your entire mind, body, and cell. You have to be really still, either in sitting or lying down position, and let that energy move through you. And sometimes if it's a recurring thing or difficult thing, you might need to go through therapy or other kind of healing, like medical healing, because it's a certain distorted, blocked energy that is trying to find a way out of your system. So meditation is one method for us to get in touch with what's really going on in our body-mind complex. It's for us to get a read for what's going on. And the more we can get into that clear space, the more you're like, it's like a piece of white cloth that's had a lot of dyes on it. So if you wanted to restore to that plain white, you have to process it through chlorine or whatever you're processing to wash out all the color. So meditation is actually, it's just like that. You're restoring to that place of innocence, omniscience, purity, complete spaciousness, everything, but 100% wisdom. So that's what we're doing. But if depending on what the blockage and the distortion is, we might require multiple methodologies, meditation being one, medical healing being another, having great companionships, friends and family, bringing good energy, acupuncture. Everything we're doing is about regenerating that energy body and healing. So definitely keep on doing meditation. But if you're noticing something that's like difficult to move through, and you might want to talk to somebody about it, it could require therapy, talking, whatever it is, walking, it's really just about moving energy through, right? Like you do Tai Chi, so I'm sure, and functional medicine, and it's all about getting that flow going. Yesterday, we went to like an energy healing thing, and I tell you, I was so like blissed out because it was a group of us, 6 of us. It's like some small private thing they were doing, and we just had people lie down on a massage table, and we were each doing our healing, whatever method that was really native to us on the person. And I started like just getting into this meditation phase mode, and I was seeing all these images, and I actually started moving my body to it, like I was doing the Tai Chi. And suddenly I started experiencing Tai Chi ball, like in a 3-dimensional way, like the energy was moving through, and I felt like I was like moving in and out like this whole Tai Chi ball. And it was so like amazing because I really got to understand it's all about moving energy. Everything is just moving and moving and moving. So you want to get in that moving state, like where things are not stuck. And that's when you're getting repressed energy. It's not about repressing. It's about letting it come out and having that space. You're the space that holds it. So if it's painful, that's okay because it's coming through in your space and you just have to hold it. And when I was doing a lot of meditation training, the Buddhist meditation has this dissolving into emptiness and letting go of our body, literally dissolving everything into light. Our teacher always said if thoughts or feelings come up that's difficult, it's very easy for people to push them away, like a really sharp jar, like I don't want to deal with it. And then like there's a really sharp energy that might come out of you that's like just pushing it down, and all you're doing, it's okay, all you're doing is you're adding another layer of pain on top of it. So really the best thing is just be completely vulnerable and let it come out. And if it's too painful, lie down. If it's too painful, go talk to someone. If it's too painful, stop the meditation after 10 minutes, go do something, but know that it's something that it's really trying to work its way out of you.
Yeah, the other thing I feel is if you have something that comes up, there's always a story that goes to it.
Yeah.
You have to not go into that story.
Exactly.
You just not judge it and just be with it, but not go into the story.
100%.
And it's like, it's sometimes really difficult because you just have to say there's another way of seeing it or whatever.
Right.
It can take a long time sometimes.
Yeah, the story part is the intellectualization of the distorted energy, because energy is moving through our entire system, the 7 chakras, so they register to us at each chakra in a different manner. Like if it's sometimes if I feel like my power center is leaking, I feel this like little bit numbness and a bit hole in my solar plexus, and I know that I know energy well enough to know that I need to replenish this. I'm trying not to make a story out of it. I'm just trying to like do an energetic healing right there and then, like pull my energy back. Like there's different ways where you can breathe your energy back into that center so you fill the hole. Because like I was saying, the whole thing with the storytelling is that this is just distorted energy is moving to the third eye. That's how I'm seeing it. Is like that's where in the vocal, like here you might feel stuck energy. The energy is weaving through these centers in ways that these centers are processing them. And the third eye center, when it's distorted, is spinning these idealization and stories and whatever else. And the vocalization of somebody is like really upset or something, the energy needs to come out, you need to speak about it or whatever. So the whole thing with not spinning the story is really important, because that can really take you to a little black hole where it's just going nowhere and it just stays and stays and stays. So the way I do it is that's where the stilling the mind, the mental mind, is very important, because when you feel yourself starting to spin, you really, breathing is a good way, or you just pull the energy back, not let it go all over the place, just breathe it out until this mental energy calms down, and then you rebalance your energy, and from that state of rebalance, like where you're back to that white sheet of paper, you will get, I promise you, you will get divine inspiration, where suddenly the light will just pop in like that. You don't have to think about it. It'll just come to you. And you're like, and then your whole body gets it. Like you feel this lightness, like you suddenly like uplift it. You're like, that's the answer. So it's all about energy. It's all about energy, rebalancing and removing blocks, because all the answer is there. It's just not coming in right because we're distorted. Okay, well, we have another 25 minutes. I mean, I know we went over a lot. I'm happy to continue to talk more, but if you guys feel like you've had enough for today, we can like close it too. It's totally up to you, because sometimes like less is more, you know what I mean? But I'm not totally happy because I have this thing for you. We have another class next week, and I'm just gonna go through different kind of meditation. Each time we do a different meditation, and we experience it, and then we talk about it. I feel like it's really important for us to have a forum where we discuss like our meditation experience, whichever ways that we feel comfortable, and help each other move through obstacles, because I think sometimes it's like, you know, meditation is a very like subjective experience, and then it's not always clear, are we doing the right thing, or why am I feeling this way, and whatever. So I feel like if we can have a forum where we get to help each other out and discuss it, it could go a long way for us individually, and also to create this group cohesion where like the bigger mind is like working through, you know, like no mind is working through the big group mind and then into our little individual mind. Yeah. Yeah. So would you like to talk more, or you want to have some time to read over the papers? And well, I could talk more. So you know, the second point, like the phase 1 body mind connection, I think we actually did a lot of that today. It's you know, meditation can seem like it's just like a mental thing, but like I said, the more we can clear our mental space, and it's really about managing energy and let that flow, the more we can heal our body and really get the mind-body connection. Because sometimes when people, I think in our modern society, they get really busy and we don't necessarily feel the chi in our body. It's like we're just like a little machine going here and there and getting things done. But I think in practices like Tai Chi and meditation, when we stop the external, we reset, we really can feel a lot of subtle energy that's moving through us. And it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, I had one experience which was very unusual. I don't know if you had experience with that. I was meditating and all of a sudden I could feel this flashback to when I was a baby and all that joyous energy of a baby in me in real time. And that energy was so strong. I couldn't settle. It was awful. For like the whole day I couldn't settle. I tried everything in the book. The only thing that settled me was after I was sleeping it off and then the next day was a little bit calmer.
Right.
I didn't know what to do.
Right.
I absolutely, nobody could tell me what to do. And I was like trying all sorts of ways because it was too much energy.
Right.
I was trying to put it down. I don't know what to do in these situations. I was like asking, but I don't know if you ever had experiences like that.
So it was like you actually felt really happy, right? Being a baby, it was just it was too much.
It was like too much. It was like really so much like a little baby. I had a baby who's
I see.
Feels so happy.
I
felt that as
see.
an adult, and it was just so much I couldn't deal with it.
Wow, that's a good thing. I mean, but I understand that sounds delicious to me.
Like, it was really nice initially, but it wouldn't go away afterwards and settle down.
I see. Yeah, were you having to do work at the same time, and you were finding it difficult to like process normally to take care of the things you were taking care of because
it was
you were
a meditation retreat, so it wasn't too bad in the sense I didn't have to do stuff. Maybe if I had done a lot of work outside, maybe it would have dissipated sooner. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I didn't know if you ever had an experience like that where you
Were you sitting in meditation for a long time for this? How long was the meditation?
Well, we were doing it for maybe, an hour at a time or 45 minutes at a time.
And then you would do this repeatedly and you would generate a lot of these energies, right? I personally have not had an experience where I felt like, that was too much because I like a lot of it. I don't have like a normal job where I have to be in the same place all the time because I think that would probably be crazy if it was like that for me. So if I feel a lot of energy, I just go do things to let me do stuff. Like if I feel really happy, like I wake up, I'm like, I want to go to coffee shop and do my things. So like this energy, this joyful energy has an outlet, which is like the reason I don't want to do it a desk job anymore because I feel like it's hard for me to really move my energy in externalized fashion. So I feel like if you actually have this, because I'm studying Kadampa Buddhism and Sutra Tantra teaching and all this, and what I like, they always say the true nature of the mind is a union of bliss and emptiness. So emptiness being the spaciousness, it's not a void, like it doesn't have anything, it's actually, it has all the potential plus the bliss, so I always think that's a good thing. Like I think I'm supposed to be happy and blissful. So because there was a stage when I was doing these emptiness meditation where I was becoming a little apathetic because I was like, well, everything's empty and everything's not formed and all this. But later we were training in bliss, which is we're actually doing things to self-generate bliss and be happy. And for example, get coffee or see friends, or everything we do just add an extra dose of magic to it, right? So then I feel like if you're getting joyful, that's actually a good thing. But maybe because you had to in that meditation, you still had to sit down and all that, it was difficult to ground it, So I would say in a situation like that, it's good to do a meditation, like a grounding meditation, where you actually just literally see light, all this light moving under your feet into the ground, actually battery discharging the energy, so that way you can actually dispense it and not have it just be totally blown out, But I also found as the more meditation I do, and I think the more developed my subtle body becomes, when I feel joy, I just feel them moving out as really tinkly little vibrations. I feel like it's pretty well controlled where I'm not all over, I feel like it has a way of refining and it just moves through my body in a very small little filaments, and it feels really good. Like I feel really calm and really happy at the same time.
I know, I understand that. It's just that was a bit too much, so I really.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, sounds like it was wonderful though. Yeah, I mean, but maybe too much of a good thing, maybe not so good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's almost the same thing as if you feel overly sad for long periods of time and you're working that energy out. It's almost like you don't know what to do with the sadness, but if you're that happy all the time, it can be overpowering for humans. I had a little experience with that to some extent.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, I'm not used to being this happy, and I've been happy for a while, and I'll stop it, you know? I don't want to feel it anymore. So I know what you're saying, and it's like I was just too much up here and not being able to bring it down, so it's good. And I realized I kind of said to myself, I'm going to have to ground this somehow, but it took me a little while to kind of figure out how to do it, but it was just this weird feeling as being overly sad for a long period of time. It was just the same, but, the dualities of those two things.
Well, it's so interesting what you just said, because I realize it's got a lot to do with the planetary vibration and what the planet can hold, because we're linked to the entire cosmos. And unfortunately, this planet is obviously not vibrating at the highest. There's lots of issues and whatever, and people are sad and depressed and all sorts of manners of like confusion and stuff. So sometimes when we're really happy, it's hard for us to really connect with the surrounding or the surrounding to hook up with it. So we might run into obstacles, like we're just like this and that, and they're like, and then you're like feeling a little bit stopped, because you feel like this energy doesn't have a really smooth way of transmitting itself onto the receiving end, because everything is like moving in and out, giving and receiving. So if the surrounding doesn't have the capability to receive that high flow of energy, you can feel really like bumped back.
And that's exactly what happened was I was being so blissful and my surroundings wasn't, that I noticed they had an objective reaction to it. And that's really, when you think back on it, that's really what grounded me, is all of a sudden I had to deal with the reality of them not being anywhere near the vibration I was, and them not being able to handle it either, and pulling me right down, and then unfortunately I let it pull down too far. So it's like learning this balancing act of, you have to, like you said, you have to be in the real world, but not to give all your power away, but to still be able to function. So it is a balancing kind of thing.
It is. And also, I'm sorry, did you want?
And interpretation too. I was thinking, talking about weird experiences. It took me about 15 years to understand this, by the way. I had an experience where it was an energy shift, like you mentioned, but it was so much, I felt painful.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a body, mental thing, it was really the energy body.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to describe it to myself, other than say it's painful, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
I don't want this ever again.
Yeah.
And then years later, it happened to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't like it, but it's just energy shift.
Yeah.
It's nothing else. I don't have to interpret it as painful or uncomfortable
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
And then it settled down. And it took me 15 years to figure that one out.
Right, that's exactly what I was saying to Michelle. Oh, okay, she's reading. This is exactly what I was saying earlier, is that she was saying 15 years ago she had this major energy flow, and it was like it felt very painful or overwhelming or what have you, and wasn't sure what to do. And 15 years later, when she had something like that, she learned to just like let it be, right? And then it moves through you. So what we really want to do is not add additional labels to things. So when something, because the more you meditate, you realize every intellectual labeling is another layer of energy that it's another effort. You're giving yourself a lot of homework to do. So you don't want to do that. So basically, when things come, just observe it, compassionately let it be, and refrain from labeling, judging anything. And then it's like a little kid that just runs away. It's like, oh, okay, I showed my face, now I'm going to move on. So we want to be as light as we can, so we're not stuck with things, And sometimes we're processing things for ourselves, and sometimes we're processing things for other people. So, for example, like in the case when you're really blissed out and the surrounding is not catching up. So, in fact, when you come into a little bit of a clash like that, you're processing for each other what the disjointness of the frequency of the cosmos is, and that's what's going on with planets and stars and everything like that. So we're just a micro reflection of what goes on in the entire universe. So the thing, what I do to keep my frequency high is I'm pretty selective about where I go and who I hang out with, because I don't have to do a job. I have, some independent ways of making a living and all that. I don't have to go to a job where I'm like having to lower down to their vibration and do repeated stuff. So I feel very lucky I'm able to do that. And at the same time, I realize it's my responsibility, because not everybody is able to do that. So I've got to hold the light to the best of my ability. And it's actually important for me to do that because I have the ability to do it. So I mostly surround myself with really like-minded spiritual friends and come to meetings like that. And if it's something that is like clearly just not resonating at the same level, I just let go. I don't like have guilt trips anymore like I used to.
It's interesting you say that, because also this has just been a recent thing, also my kind of like trying to figure out what the heck's going on here. It came to me in meditation that some of the things I'm experiencing from the lower vibrational people, I've asked for through intentions that I do on Wednesday, meaning that I've asked to be able to be of service of those that, are homeless and that are, like a Mother Teresa kind of thing in the future. And this is like, they're going, and that's what you asked for, so this is your practice time so that you can do this.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, I asked for it, okay.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
it is all that though. I'm just saying you have to, when you ask for something, you need to really kind of understand what you're asking for.
It's really true, because we're all in service, because at the end of the day, we exist so that we can be of service,
And
so
if you don't feel the pain, you can't understand somebody else's pain in order to kind of help them heal it and have, ideas and energy for them too.
Yeah, my thing with what I do is I try to see the light.
Yeah.
I ask the heart, and then I go look at the heart until I see that light.
Mm-hmm.
Even if everything else is like, low vibration, whatever, I focus on that.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel better, and then I can feel the better energy there.
Yeah.
Just being present.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, really, even if it's tiny, I say, okay, can you do things, maybe?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes you just don't do it, and it does,
Exactly, because the more of these meditations that I do, and I go to spiritual classes and trainings and all that, the more I realize our responsibility is to hold the highest frequency that we can. And by doing that, we are of the most service to everyone in the whole universe. And we do it in karmically different ways, like you're a physician and Tai Chi teacher, so you do it like that, and you're like in school, and your family, mom, and these homeless people that you're helping, you're doing it like that. And I'm doing it in a way that makes sense for me. And we just like honor each other, and then we individually can choose at what level we want to be of service, depending on like what we want to embody, So because some, like along the spectrum, when I was learning the Sutra Tantra teaching, it said compassion, bliss, and emptiness. So along this whole spectrum, there's different shades. We can pick what makes sense for us, where we want to grow evolutionarily, and what we want to be of service, and what's karmically most immediate to us that need our attention. So yeah, it's really just the more light we can hold, the more we can affect everything.
And I also had to learn that, this is something I guess you always know, but you don't always remember it. You're not ever going to know everything at one time. It's always a long process until it's actually over with. So you're going to be continually learning these different things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've received a lot of different teachings in my life. I've been a Mormon at one point, Christian, Buddha, Hindu, and recently I did something else I forgot, like Sufi, I did that, Law of One, what's the other one? Law of One, and I forgot, like the other one where it's like, Course in Miracle. I was like, what is that? It's the blue cover book, A Course in Miracle. And it's really about service, and it's it's just about like being in sync with everything that you just know. It's like, it's like there's no separation between the self and others anymore. You're just like you are the flow, and then you just do whatever happens. And then, like you said, we don't have to intellectually understand, because the one thing I really realized, the intellectual mind is also the ego mind. Like, it's very limited in its ability to really fathom the mysteries of the universe. Like, it downloads in a very linear, truncated, small fashion, and even our language is very truncated. We have different languages. People often misunderstand each other, and depending on our ability to communicate, a lot of times we might not be able to say what's really inside. So there's a lot of limitation to what's going on with the intellectual mind. And the thing I was saying a lot in the meditation is that by getting into our heart center And by just living that space of bliss and joy and spaciousness and all that, I don't even have to know how I'm affecting this person or that person or my mom and dad, because that takes like this linearization, which is like I can calculate to the nth degree, and it's not going to be fast enough to actually just doing it. Just doing it, I know just by faith, it's doing everything. So I don't even have to go through the brain because it's too slow. And not only is it it's not accurate. It's not accurate, and it's very limited, and it's also very divisive. Like, I think I'm doing it for you, but okay, at the same time, I'm thinking I'm not able to hold two thoughts at the same time. So it's very slow. So I just say I'm gonna hold the best light, and I'm gonna be happy, and that's my service. Yeah. So, how about you, Michelle?
I've been following Esther, Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
weeks and all that. That's exactly where they live, I think.
Yeah.
And your journey is your service.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just here to be together, because everything I read is we're all one, we're all one. And like, what does that mean? Like, you have your body, I have my body, you have my body, karma and everything. The more we can just see everything as energy, the more we dissolve all these seeming separation. And we really are one, because you feel like there's no separation. You're just flowing through space. I'm getting to a point where I'm just like, I'm like trying not to make a lot of intellectual decisions, because I'm like, that's just another take on the same time and space. So I want to exist outside of time and space. So I'm not going to make a lot of things for me to do to like take snapshots of time and space all the time, because it's all the same anyway, So that way I let go of a lot of minutia, like the calculation line, or like comparing this and that, because it's all the same at the end. So of course it's not all you know what I mean? So, but you know what I mean, like you try to get in that space where you're like, okay,
I call that the intuitive mind. You don't know what you're going to say next or do next. You're just there, and whatever comes.
Yeah.
I call that the intuitive mind, and it knows what to do.
Right, it really does. And also my experience is the higher vibration we hold, and the more we attract higher vibration beings, they understand very quickly. Like minds understand very quickly, and that really gets me to experience that seamless, effortless nature, because in the Buddhist Sadhana, it always says, oh, the blissful state is effortless and spontaneous. And I was like, oh, what does that mean and stuff. And the more I live this life, being surrounded by spiritual people who are like-minded and working through a lot of obstacles already, the more I realize it is seamless, it's effortless, because they're instantly on the same page. I don't have to be like, well, what about this and what about that, and dealing with a lot of like lower level stuff, which like it's actually fragmentation, and that's why things take a long time to get done at a certain level, because things are not talking to each other. They're not like fully integrated. So that's why it doesn't feel like we're one, because it's like they're speaking different languages, So anyway, yeah, it's all really good. And let's after she gets back, we'll just do a closing dedication prayer, and then we can go into our respective lives and shine the light.
Okay. I do have the board likes us to fill out evaluations.
Oh, okay.
Before you leave,
What was the part I missed up there on the board?
Oh yeah, this is a spiritual walk thing that we're doing if you want to get together every Wednesday between 5 to 7 at Conservatory Park in Bradenton. We do spiritual walk together, we talk, and we do healing for each other, and it's by donation, I think a couple dollars, whatever you want to donate. And you can see the schedule and join the group on Soul Synergy Sarasota on Facebook. And this is my personal contact information, my phone number and email, and then I do tarot card reading and teach meditation.
What's on EST or POST?
Okay, that's post.harvard.edu. It's my email address. It's my school email address. So I use that a lot for like things that's a little bit more formal, so I'm not just using live.com. So yeah. I'll give myself an extra review. You gotta give yourself all the pats on the head, right? I'm a big believer in self-congratulations. Oh yeah, this is my business card. If you ever want to contact me, sure. This is my card. If you ever yeah, send me a text message. I want to get to know you more and hang out sometime. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
She wants to do a little more meditation with us.
Yes.
So I just stick.
Yeah, we I'll just do a quick one for closing.
Is it Kathy Elson?
Yep, that's my email, Kathy
L
Elson,
as in-
Larry,
Okay.
SUN at post.harvard.edu. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys call me, text me, phone me, email me anytime. I'm available for the universe.
We
Yeah.
love it. We can see that.
I know, the universe, all right. Well, I've come a long way. I've had like my own trials and errors and stuff, and I really I believe all this wholehearted because it's been really healing for me. So I've had depression in my life and all sorts of stuff, and I finally came into light. I feel great. Yeah. With help from a lot of people, of course. Okay, so let's do the closing dedication. Dear universe, thank you so much for bringing all of us together, Michelle, Rainey, Tatiana, and myself. We're super grateful for this forum to get together, to share our heart and mind, to help each other grow spiritually, and to bring more light into our mind and our bodies so that we may feel really happy all the time and remove obstacles, let go of things that don't serve us anymore, and to have a great flow into all aspects of our life so that we may be of most benefit and service to ourselves and the universe. Would you guys like to add anything? Okay, great. Amen. Thank you. So I'm going to do class again next week.
Yes.
Yes, so we're trying for 2 weeks, this week and next week. Thanks so much.